Hey there, it's Akenko, and let's talk about why your life is better than a celebrity's life with a lot of money. Let's get right into it. Let's define being broke first. So there's different levels to being broke. There might be someone that's dead broke that can't pay their rent and is really pressured because they don't have enough money to pay for certain bills and certain food. So that is a big struggle because you're at risk of losing your apartment or house or whatever. And the other thing is being an average broke. They can pay their bills, but they're living paycheck to paycheck. So we have the debt broke and the paycheck to paycheck broke. Now I would take myself as an example. I was living in New York for a year, making only $4 an hour. One scoop of ice cream is $8, so I would have to work 2 hours to afford one scoop of ice cream. So that was very broke to me. I was barely able to afford anything in this city, but it was still one of the best times of my life, and I want to tell you and break it down how and compare it next to a celebrity's life. So let's look at the celebrity first. They might have all that money that you think you are missing, but what they don't have, which you do have, is privacy. Celebrities can't just go to random places. They are forced to go to certain environments with certain security people, and they can't just walk around. That is what I define freedom, being able to walk and go anywhere that you want to go to. So let's put Justin Bieber as a celebrity next to myself, who was broke in New York, and see the pros and cons. So Justin Bieber has a very limited privacy, and me, I am limited financially. So Justin Bieber can go to the mall, can go to the movies, anything that is public, or go to the local Christmas markets, running errands, just going for a walk somewhere, and he can't go anywhere without security. Now looking at me, I can't buy an expensive car, I can't have any bougie vacations or party or buy designer things. So now look at Justin Bieber, what he can do. He can rent whole properties, he can have private tours somewhere. Let's look at what I can do. I can walk around in nature without getting interrupted by anyone or have paparazzis being in trees and just waiting for me to take photos. I can have funny encounters with strangers. I can do people watching, I can explore nature. So my whole learnings from this is, especially if you also know J. Cole, who said being broke was better, and a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? This is because with a lot of money, there's also a lot of responsibility coming with it. Let's say you're a business owner, something is not working out and you need to close a store or something. Hundreds of people losing a job that need to feed their family, and they're at risk of not being able to pay their bills and being kicked out of their apartment. Knowing that you're responsible for that can cause such a big pressure on you that other people do not feel that pressure because they are not in that position. For some people, it's hard to feel empathy for someone that's in a very different position financially, or is in a relationship and you're not in a relationship. A lot of times we want the things that we don't have. There are people in relationships that would rather want to be single. There are single people that would rather be in a relationship. There are rich people that think to maybe have more privacy or more free time, and then there's broke people that are, I wish I had more money so I'm able to afford all my dreams. But what I noticed being in New York, for me, if I have an issue, I always find solutions for it. Even though I was so broke, I just learned that if there's a will, there's a way. And it just helps me to really find solutions. I wasn't right in New York City, so I was in the suburbs, but I found a way. Instead of taking the train, which would be $18 round trip, I was able to walk to the Bronx and just pay $2.70 for the subway one way, costing a third compared to the train. It was longer walking. It wasn't the safest thing to do because I also went there at night by myself without any pepper spray or anything. So I would not necessarily recommend exactly this to someone else. But that way I was able to go to the city 4 times a week. Other people that were in my position, they were like, how do you do this? We don't make enough money to go to the city that often. And I just found ways to go there because that was my sort of therapy. going to New York City, seeing all these different kinds of people, doing people watching. I saw so many crazy things, and being so broke, I was traveling to so many places. I went solo traveling to Mexico. I went to Miami a couple of times. I went to the West Coast. I went to so many places, and I stayed in the sketchiest parts. And I would not recommend all the things that I did that were risking my safety at some point. But I was able to see so many things that I was just realizing celebrities would never see the things that I'm seeing, because they would just get the most expensive place to stay in a certain area, which is understandable because that's just the amount of money that they have. But I would never want to trade my experiences for that. It might sound cool to be able to rent the whole movies and go there with your friends, but what do you do if you don't have friends? Justin Bieber can't just go in a regular movie theater and maybe there's something funny happening with the audience or something. As a celebrity, you don't have that privacy. Justin Bieber can't just go to Times Square and run around and scream because people would recognize him and chase him. And I could just go to Times Square in New York and scream, and some people might look at me funny, or the police would approach me and say something, but no one would remember it. And that is, I think, privacy and being able to be free is the biggest gift that we can possibly have. And I think a lot of us don't realize, because we take it for granted because we're just used to that there are certain celebrities or very big business owners who are at risk of want to rob them or something, or kidnap their kids to be able to get a certain amount of money. If you're broke, it's just different. It's a different kind of struggle, but I think it's important to see you're not the only person struggling. Everyone has their own struggle, and to view celebrities not as something I want to achieve this so bad, but with a little bit of compassion and also feeling they don't have a perfect life, even though it might look perfect to us through social media. And that really helped me looking at my experiences to see all those experiences that I made were so unique, and a lot of them were funny and weird, but I think those are the pretty things in life that I really value, and I'm really grateful for that. And I hope that you're able to see that about your life too, and not feel terrible all the time. And if you're in the position to be so broke that you can't pay your bills, that's just as bad as not having any privacy at all. I don't want to say that is not bad, but there might be ways that you're able to get out of being that broke. And there are different ways of money management. Maybe your apartment is too expensive for the money that you make, and maybe there's cheaper options. Maybe there's cheaper options on your phone bill. My phone bill is 15 bucks. I think that's pretty cheap. I know a lot of people that pay 40 bucks. So it's really about finding what is so expensive in your life and being able to reduce that, or finding other ways where you can make more money. There's just so many things in your life and costs that if you look closer at it, there might be ways to get certain things cheaper or make more money, and ways to get out of being that broke. And I'm not saying this is easy, but if you try to work on that and you have a certain vision, and if you watch my other videos where I talk about similar things of changing your mind to change your reality in your life, then you're on your best way to get out of the bad situation that you're in today. I hope you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!